Ladies and gentlemen, the leaked memo by Githu Muigai as explaining the reason why he had to resign as the chairperson of Council of Legal Education Board, that email needs to get to Azimio la Umoja immediately. And they need to know, because it's actually opening the lid on what exactly is happening in the Bomas of Kenya. And before Azimio la Umoja will realize, maybe Bomas of Kenya will be a crime scene. And I want us to look at that because Githu Muigai resigned this evening as the Council of Legal Education Board chairperson after serving for, I think, 2 years. He was appointed there in that position in 2021. Now, before we get to those intrigues, I need to just remind you about Edwin's support. In this October, under the bold, we are doing one project. And this is the project of supporting this boy to be admitted in Kirinyaga University. He got C+, and was invited, got the letter to join Kirinyaga, but he had not joined because of financial constraints. And as the board, after contacting with the brother and the other family members, we agreed that I want us to take this boy on Friday to Kirinyaga. So we are doing 100 bob challenge towards that kitty, and I believe that we will do this. We will do this. Thank you very much. Thank you for those who have participated. I know the message is a bit overwhelming, so I cannot call all, but I'm just so grateful for the response. I want us to get to this. Githu Muigai has resigned today. And of course, that information came somewhere around 7 a.m. Not 7 a.m., around 7 in the evening. And the information was about him resigning from government, from that position. So what is actually shocking is the reason behind that resignation. And I want us to look at what he has said, because he has actually leaked the reason why he has left. This is what he wrote. I write to inform you of my decision to resign from the Council of Legal Education, effective immediately. The events of last week have made my continued leadership of the institution untenable. As most of you know, I have dedicated a very large part of my career to legal education and training, and it is with a very heavy heart that I have arrived at this decision. Then he's saying that one of the reason why he has tendered his resignation, or rather he cannot continue working in that position, serving in that position, is because of her or his appearance, or rather his submissions at the NADCO. So last week he appeared before that committee, and at this point I want you to pay attention to what he said. In his submission, he actually said that we have too many members of parliament in the National Assembly, and women rep positions should be abolished, and some counties should also be reduced, and even the number of MPs should generally be reduced. He actually proposed to around 100. Number 2, he also proposed the creation of the office of opposition leader, but said that that opposition leader should be allowed to have access to intelligence briefs, just like that of the president and the deputy. Or rather, what this means, or rather what he meant by this, is that the opposition leader, the leader of opposition office, should work in the level of the executive. And of course, that was against a position that Kenya Kwanza has been advancing, that the leader of opposition should be confined in parliament. According to him, that leader of opposition should work in the executive. So that is a bit of it. And the other one was about the IBC, which he supported the reforms, the constitution of the commission, but declined on the opening of the server. So if you look at that, you may want to sit back and interrogate. So what did Githu Muigai say that will make people uncomfortable, the appointing authority uncomfortable? Appointing authority here is President Ruto. What did he say that President Ruto found not good, and then the working environment abruptly became hostile? That is why I'm saying that there is a problem somewhere. And the problem here is this. Azimio la Umoja needs to pay attention that if Githu can resign and has to lose that job because of making a submission in the bipartisan talks that, according to the appointing authority, probably rubbed the bosses the wrong way, then it means that the Bomas talks are actually being remote controlled. And there is a spy that has been planted there to make sure that submissions are framed through to achieve some specific objectives. And that's why I started this podcast by saying this matter needs to get to Azimio la Umoja, and they need to act very fast. Very fast. Nani has been saying, Jeremiah Kenny has been saying that, what are we really doing? Are we even ending somewhere? But there you see, it is happening. This is why that email that Muigai is actually revealing should worry Azimio la Umoja. This is what I see, and it is what is happening. Kenya Kwanza is trying to ring-fence the talks so that it's trying to create some firewalls to ensure that proposals from that committee do not push a popular vote. Why am I saying that? I'm saying that because the only big issue, because that is just a submission, the only thing that Githu Muigai's proposals brings on table, those proposals requires a referendum. And there is a clear way that probably Kenya Kwanza are ensuring that government stakeholders, especially these other organizations within government, parastatals and those appearing but on pro-government side, do not take submissions to that committee that necessitate referendum. For example, if this proposal comes from someone like Githu Muigai, the senior counsel, who was a Attorney General, a former Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, actually left Kihara. He left, then Kihara took over when he left the position. So this is a man that, of course, in his stature, he will be given a lot of attention, and what he says before that committee is not taken lightly. Just the same way as Amos Wako was also Attorney General, even in the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. So this is one thing, and that is why Azimio must then be alert. Number two, garages are being initiated clearly to kick out pro-Ruto team, pro-Uhuru team from government. Of course, people like Githu Muigai are not sympathizing with them, probably. But this looks like a grudge that has just been brought from nowhere, because there is nothing huge here. There is nothing that will really raise eyebrows, but just a grudge that seems to have been created somewhere in the corridors so that people will settle some political scores. And it's a continuation of your chest from government. And so this is what Azimio must do, and there must be a lot. I wish they listen to this podcast. I wish my friend Nani, Chai Baba Skema, lazima msikie. The same way, at the bipartisan talks, there was no agreement on what to be discussed and what not to be discussed. The bipartisan talks, that team, that NADCO team, must regenerate into another process that will determine whether we are getting to referendum and we're going parliamentary way, and which way. Well, this is what I'm saying. All those proposals that have been presented before NADCO were presented by Kenyans. And so there is, between Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja, no one has monopoly over the other. Just the same way when they were arguing whether to put cost of living or whether to audit, they could not agree on what to put and what to drop. And what they decided to put everything and talk about everything. So the same way, Kenya Kwanza and Azimio la Umoja must make sure that they don't filter anything at this stage. Because Azimio must know that probably this is one of those games that is being played, but the end game is that it's not going to yield fruits. If Kenya Kwanza on the other side is saying we are really committed in those talks, but when Githu Muigai makes a presentation, then he has to resign because he said something that do not sit well. But so, come on, that one, something is not right. Thank you.